Namaste. Welcome to another personal mastery video. And today's topic that I'm going to speak about is a very broad topic. Um, and today's topic is learning. We're going to speak about learning, right? So, again, as we all know that we are born with human intelligence, we all have the ability to learn things. We can all do the things that we want to do once we put our mind to it, right? So a wise man once said that never allow schooling to get in the way of you being able to learn things. Just because you're not at school doesn't mean that your learning process needs to stop. You can be at home and you can educate yourself. By the way, now that I've completed my high school career, I've actually come to the realization that a lot of the books that we did in school, I actually now have access to them. From the beginning of my high school career, like if you go and you go research about every book that you read in school that you know of, you actually have access to that book right there. And you even have access to the memorandum of that book. That's so funny. The exact same books that your teachers would be actually getting the tests from, you can actually get access to those books. So your whole schooling career can become nothing else but, a walk in the park. That is amazing. But it's just that when you're in school, you're just so blind. That's the only thing, right? Because you think like you can't have access to this information, that your teachers are the only people that have access to this information, right? Um, I'm gonna dive straight into my keynotes right here. I would rather say my keynotes right there. So my first thing that I want to speak about is there's only one corner of the universe you can be certain of improving, and that is yourself. By doing what? Obviously by learning, right? Um, if we fail to read, we miss the treasure of wisdom and all the wisdom that we actually need. Like you cannot go through your life without wisdom. That is like going through this world that we're living in blindly, right? And I want to date back quickly, and I want to speak about one of my icons, my favorite icons, in fact. I want to speak about Steve Jobs. I'm not going to dial in much about it, but I want to speak about something that really fascinated me about learning. Steve Jobs actually dropped out on classes that didn't actually excite him, and he started dropping into the ones that excited him, right? Because he wanted to learn new things. He wanted to learn what he wanted to learn, like what he wanted to know. And that's the good thing of it all. You don't have to learn something that somebody is actually dangling in front of your face. You have a choice what it is that you want to learn. So you actually get it right there, that life is nothing else but a choice, right? So, so he learned more about wording, he learned more about spacing, he learned more about what made great typography great. And that's the reason why iPhone is one of the best phones you can ever come across. There's a lot of phones that are coming up, they're trying to compete against this one specific device, and you just cannot compete against something like that. And my advice to you is, guys, you need to start dialing in onto autobiographies. Like, you need to dial in on autobiographies. Like, you can learn so much from autobiographies, right? The second thing that I want to dial in is the only way for you to learn is by remaining curious. You need to be curious as to how things came about to be. How did something like that happen? Nothing just happens by coincidence. There's no such thing as coincidences. Something don't get happen to you because you're lucky. You are either blessed. That is what you have to get inside your mind right there, right? Where you are right now is based on the decisions that you've made, the choices that you made. There's no such thing as I'm bad luck or I'm lucky. We're all born with human intelligence. What I have, you have. What you have, I have. And we both can do it as well if we just want to do it, right? And the thing about learning is that one can learn in so many ways. One can learn through traveling as well. One can learn from your friends as well, which is a good thing. And traveling, and I want to speak specifically about traveling, is that, guys, traveling is so eye-opening, like for real. Like, you need to travel and see how other people are living in other places. And then you actually get to come back and realize that, you are so fussy about whatever that it is about your life. Meanwhile, there are people that are out there that are living in a totally different kind of manner. And like attracts like, when you start to be truthful to yourself, guys, you begin to attract the friends that are actually operating on the same frequencies and the same vibration as yourself, right? I like to think of it like this. I like to think of it like this. If you're gay or you're a lesbian, it doesn't necessarily mean that when you're gay that you're rocking with every gay person. Even gay guys that are intelligent, they rock with guys that are on the same frequency and the same vibrations as them. Right? You attract who you are. And I know we've all heard the saying that show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. Right? Show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. The longer you hang around a barber, you're going to get yourself a haircut. That's the saying right there, right? So guys, remain curious. Why is things like that? And I feel like once you understand why things are the way that they are and how they have come about to be, you will have a clear perspective as to how you can go about making changes, instead of you having to live your life feeling like things have just come to be like the way that they are. And the third thing, dialing into it already, is through learning we get to recreate ourselves. Through learning we become able to do something we were never able to do. You realize that I couldn't do something like this before, but now that I've learned, I can. Yes, I can do it right now. And the more you learn, the quicker you become at learning how to do things. If I get a contract right now to go to China to become an English teacher in China for 2 years, and I only go to China to teach English specifically, but I don't want to know and I don't want to know more about China. In fact, the only way for me to know more about China if I get to learn how to speak their language. Right. Now, if I'm a quick learner, by 3 months' time, I would be able to hold a conversation with people. And when I get back home, I will be at least to tell you a thing or two about China. Because the only way for me to know more about China is through the people that are actually living in that specific place, China. I can already imagine just having a lot of Chinese friends, on my WhatsApp or my Facebook. So keep working, keep growing, keep learning. That's just the way of life. We can't go about it. It's just the way of life. We all have to accept it and just make peace with it. You cannot go through life without knowing something. You at least need to know something. There are people that are living in this world right now that just want to teach themselves how to speak English. Be happy at least you can speak English. You can understand English. It might not be perfect, but you can. That's all from my side, guys. I want to leave you guys with something for today is start something that will be able to grow. Start something that would be able to grow. Don't be in a hurry to see the results, but have the picture in your head as to what it is that you want to accomplish or that it is that you want to achieve. But start something that will grow. When you start your high school career, You know, there's levels to that, and when you get to the last level, you feel happy because you've been growing within, you've been moving forward. That's the way of life. Moving forward. Moving forward. I hope you have a nice day further. Thank you for watching my videos. Like, share, and that's all from my side.